So the pyramid, I always like to say that for me, it was inspired, of course, by the work of Gregory Bateson, who had this idea of different levels of change. He labeled them 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you go, what's 3, 4, 2? It's very abstract. Gregory was focusing on these more abstract relationships, which for me were very profound, but it was hard for people to know how to practically use them. And I can very clearly remember, I believe it was in 1986 or something, I was in Norway, the sponsor there who had also appreciated Bateson, and we were talking about his levels of change. And I said to him at some point, yes, somebody really should do something practical with these. And as soon as those words left my mouth, I realized, I guess that somebody is me. And so I started thinking, what are the different ways to actually use them? Bateson's examples were all studies with laboratory rats, which were fascinating. But what does that have to do with all those things you were just talking about, Oksana, with our health, with our business, with our relationships, with our lives? And yet I felt within me, and also having studied with Gregory Bates, that these were something of deep importance. So my version of these levels is inspired by him. His approach is very different, but essentially this pyramid is about that there are different influences that to stimulate, guide, determine change. And the pyramid is a definition of some of these different kinds of levels of influences. We also sometimes call them neurological levels because they're not just logical in the sense of an abstract idea. I mean, they are in a way. Of course, every model is just a construct, if you will. I think we do have a nervous system, and from the neuro-linguistic programming perspective, these levels also engage different parts of the nervous system. That was, for me, something that was super important to understand about them, to experience about them.